In this brief tutorial, we're going to go over how to create a submenu on your website's menu. Now, if you've never used the menu editor before, you may want to look at our other tutorial, which is specifically for general editing of the menu and using the menu editor overall, the different features and how it works in general. This video is more specific. It's only going to talk about adding a submenu. So if you are familiar with the menu editor, then you are in the right place. So I've logged in as the administrator, and I'm going to go into the admin page. And we're going to click on Menu Editor. And here we have the menu editor with our top menu, which is the one you see here. And you're already familiar probably with submenus, which are these menus that drop down when you hover over a submenu header. We're going to add another submenu below this submenu. So we're going to add a new item here that's going to link to another drop-down submenu. So let's get into it. First thing is we need to locate where we want that submenu to go, which is going to be right here on the community menu. You can see we don't have enough space to add our new items. So I'm going to use this icon over here, which is the +5 icon that inserts 5 rows. We could add a row, and keep clicking insert row until we have the exact number of rows we need. But this just does it kind of in bulk in one step. So I'm going to click on that. The menu is going to save and refresh, and when it comes up, you'll see we've got some space here now to work in. So first I need to create the submenu header, and that's going to be the item that you hover over in order to see the submenu. For example, just like this community entry in our submenu, in our menu now, is a submenu header, which is indicated by the submenu action here. And that just means when I hover over this, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't jump to a new page or load an application. It just displays a submenu. So I'm going to give a caption of more, and this will be the header. So I'm going to go here and select submenu. And that means that this is the beginning of a submenu, and I can add the items that go on this submenu below it. So I'm going to put in here, just as an example, I'm going to put in HOA. And I'm going to link this to the contacts page. And then I'm going to add an entry for the board. And I'll link this to the board application. Now, one thing you'll notice is these items appear right in line with photos, news, calendar, documents, and the submenu header more. So if I were to save this as it is, they would appear on this dropdown with all these other items. But that's not what we want. We want HOA and board to be yet a new submenu underneath this one. So in order to do that, I've already set this up as the submenu header, but I need to tell the menu editor which items go on this particular submenu. And to do that, I'm going to indent them by using the green arrows. So when I click this, you can see more visually now exactly where HOA and board will appear on the menu. They're going to be under the more submenu as opposed to being on the community submenu. Now I also have these blank lines that I'm not going to end up using. So I'm just going to mark them for deletion by clicking the red X, and that marks them for deletion. And so now when I save the menu, these will be deleted and these 3 new entries will be created, and we should have a new submenu. And so now when I go to community and hover, you can see I have more. And when I hover over more, it pops up the HOA and board submenu items that I've created. One other thing I want to go over is you can see here it has ellipses after more that I did not put there. And the reason is that whenever you create a submenu, the system automatically inserts the submenu indicator character. And that's configured on the options page. Now, by default, it actually will be this greater than symbol. And you may or may not have changed this on your website, but by default, it is the greater than symbol. But you can change it to any one of these characters. We can use ellipses, we can use this kind of curvy arrow, and I'll go ahead and change to that one so you can see how it looks. And now you can see it's using this character. So that's just a visual change you can make as an indicator of a submenu. If you have a particular aesthetic you're trying to go for, something a little nicer than the greater than symbol. But one more thing I want to go over finally is a limitation, which is actually a valid restriction. This is considered our 3rd level of menu, or our 2nd level of submenu. So up here we've got our top level menu, level 1. When I hover, that drops down the first submenu, or level 2, and then when I hover on this one, it brings up the next submenu, or level 3. So it's only possible to have two levels of submenus. This one you see here, and then one below it. You can't have yet another submenu under this one. And that's actually a good thing from a design standpoint. You really don't want a fourth level of menu or a third level of drop-down submenus. If you find that that's where you're headed, it's probably a good time to rethink your menu layout. Maybe you create another top-level entry over here to move some options that way. But yeah, you really don't want to have four levels of drop downs just because it becomes it's a little less intuitive, it's a little more hidden, and it's a little more difficult for users to navigate just logistically. So that's how you create a submenu using the menu editor, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and thank you very much for watching.